Hello. So, today we're going to be covering Genesis chapter 2. Um, yeah, you're welcome to join. Verse 1. And the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. Verse 2. And on the seventh day God finished his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. So, we're seeing that God rested on the seventh day. Verse 3. And God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because that in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. So the seventh day was blessed by the Lord. Nothing much to discuss there. Um, these are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that Jehovah God made the earth and heaven. And no plant of the field was yet in the earth, and no herb of the field had yet sprung up, for Jehovah had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. So we are seeing a beginning of I think there's a contradiction here, because he's saying that by the seventh day, God had rested from his work. He had rested, right? But we're also seeing that no plant of the field was yet in the earth. But in chapter 1, we already saw that plants were created by God, right? Herbs were already created. But we are being told in Genesis chapter 2, verse 5, that no plant of the field was yet in the earth. No herb of the field had yet sprung up, for Jehovah had not caused it to rain upon the earth. So we're saying that we're being told that no, this is a contradiction. We can't deny it, because before we were told that plants, herbs were already growing, trees actually with fruits. But now we're being told that there is nothing because God hadn't caused it to rain. So that is a question mark there on this verse. So, and there was not a man to till the ground. We have already been told that man and woman were created, but now in this verse 5, Genesis chapter 2 verse 5, we're being told that no man was there to till the ground. So this is a very big contradiction. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the earth. uh a mist. So mist came from the earth. That means like water is evaporating and coming up from the earth, and it's watering the whole face of the ground. And Jehovah formed a man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and a man became a living soul. So we are seeing that in chapter 2, in Genesis chapter 2, man is being created again. But in chapter 1, he had already been created. I don't know if this is a problem in translation, or in the, or maybe these two chapters were written separately. But like, man has already been created, but he's being created again. We are being told that in chapter 2 he hadn't been created, so he's being created now. We are being shown how he was created using dust of the ground, and the breath. God gives him breath. He becomes a living soul. So there is a heading here: life in God's garden. So Genesis chapter 2 verse 8 says, and Jehovah God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. So man is being put in the garden. So after God had rested, he has to create a garden in the east. So this is more work for God. So he didn't actually rest, I guess. And out of the ground made Jehovah God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, and the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So here we're being shown that there were two trees that were put, the two special trees that were put in the Garden of Eden. There was the tree of life. There was a tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life, two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Those are two trees. And a river went out of Eden, giving water to the garden, and from there it was parted and became four streams. So we're being told how a river is going out of Eden, giving water to the garden. So it's coming out of the garden of Eden and giving water to it. So it comes out. That means so wait, where is the source of okay? That is not clear because if it comes out, that means it's being the source is the garden, right? Why is it giving water to the garden? That's also another thing that doesn't make sense. And the name of it was divided into four streams. The name of the first is Pishon or Pishon, which goes around about all the land of Havilah, where there is gold. These are things we don't know. What is the land of Havilah? And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. I guess this is why is this information even relevant to me? I do not know because I've never heard of Havilah, I've never heard of bdellium, never heard of the onyx stone or the onyx. I don't know how to pronounce that. So and verse 13 says, and the name of the second river is Gihon. This river goes around the land of Cush. We don't know Cush. Where are we being told about Cush? And the name of the third river is Tigris, which goes to the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. I'm just gonna read this. And the Lord God took man and put him in the Garden of Eden to do work in it, and take care of it. So God is giving man responsibility of the garden. So there was no mention of the Garden of Eden in the first chapter of Genesis. It's only mentioned in the second chapter. And there are contradictions between the first chapter and the second chapter, as we already know. And we can see it's very clear. It's not like they were hiding it. It is very clear that there are contradictions. So I don't know which we are supposed to follow. But in my opinion, I do not know. I just have to keep on reading. Maybe I'll get to the bottom of it. Um, so God is giving man responsibility of the garden. He has to take care of it. He gave man orders saying, "You may freely take of the fruit of every tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you may not take. So, for on the day when you take it, death will certainly come to you." So there are two special trees, if you recall: the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life. But God is warning the man against taking the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for he will die if he takes that. He didn't warn him yet about the tree of knowledge, no, about the tree of life. So he's only warning him about one of the special trees. I wonder, why is it that when he eats of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he dies, but then when he eats the fruit of the tree of life, we don't know what happens? As I suppose he gets more life. I don't know. Anyway, let's go on. And the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be by himself. I will make one like himself as a help to him." So man was created first. He was a man. But it is not good for man to be alone. So man is saying he needs a helper, someone to help him, someone like himself to help him. So this is where I think this is the root of all the misogyny in the world, because this is where a man thinks he's special, because now the woman is only there to help him. So no mention of the woman, but there is a helper that is going to be created now. And from the earth, God Lord, or Lord God, made every beast of the field, wait, every beast of the field and every bird of the air, and took them to the man to see what names he would give them. And whatever name he gave to any living thing, that was its name. So God is giving man the responsibility of naming every creature, every living thing on earth. And the man gave names to all cattle, to the birds of the air, and to every beast of the field. But Adam had no one like himself as a help. So wait, first mention of the name Adam, by the way. So this is Genesis chapter 2, verse 20. First mention of the name Adam. So the man is apparently called Adam, and he is naming all the creatures, all the living creatures by himself, and whatever name he gives, that would be the name. So I'm guessing that he had enough knowledge to be able to name creatures. So, but there's an emphasis that he had no one to help him. So, and the Lord God sent a deep sleep on the man and took one of the bones from his side while he was sleeping, joining up the flesh again in its place. And the bone which the Lord had taken from the man he made into a woman and took her to the man. And the man said, This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Let her name be woman, because she was taken out of man. For this cause will a man go away from his father and his mother and be joined to his wife. They will be one flesh. And the man and his wife were without clothing, and they had no sense of shame. So we are being shown how the woman was created. Man is made to sleep, Adam is made to sleep, and then a bone is taken from his side, which we all know as the ribs. One rib was taken out, then the flesh was put back together, and God used that to make man, to make woman rather. Uh, he made into a woman. Wait, he didn't even use dust. He didn't use dust like for man. And the bone which the Lord had taken from the man made into a woman and took her to the man. So he made her and took her to the man. Let's check another translation if he actually used the dust to create her. Mm, Genesis. Wait, Genesis chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 1. So, the King James Version of, I think the King James Version I have here has a glitch because it's showing me chapter 1 instead of chapter 2. I don't know. Chapter 1, Genesis chapter 1, chapter 2, verse 1. So, yeah, the rib here in the King James Version, there's emphasis that it's the rib, took one of his ribs, and brought her unto the man. So there's no mention of her of using dust to create her. So she was made out of one rib entirely. But scientifically, does I actually don't know whether women have more ribs than men. I have to look into that. But those who know, you can let me know. Uh, and okay, he said, oh wait, Adam is the one who said, this is now, wait, what? Adam is the one who said, this is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. So Adam named Eve. Adam named woman. He named the woman, and he said she's flesh of my flesh and bone of my bones, but she was taken out of me. Damn. So Adam actually had dominion over everything, even woman, because he named her. Damn, this is tough. So man is the one who said it. I heard God is the one who said this is now bone of my bone. So and it's being declared that man will always go away from his father and be joined to his wife. We don't know what a wife is now, but okay, we do know now. But like when you're reading this Bible now, you have to think about it. If you don't, if you're a child, you have to remember. Anyway, I think I okay. I'm actually gonna be using any approach. I'm gonna be mixing. I'm gonna assume sometimes that if a child was reading this, what would they understand from this? So they don't know what a wife is. Why are they reading this Bible? Anyway, someone has to explain it to them. Hence, their their perception of the Bible will be depending on the person who explains the Bible to them. Um, so when a man leaves his father and joins his wife, they become one flesh. So, yeah. So the conclusion of Genesis chapter 2 is the man and his wife were without clothing and they had no sense of shame. So they were naked. That means they had no clothes. So by then, there was no shame in being naked. Yeah, that's the end of it. Thanks for watching. See you next time if you're there. Currently, there's no one watching. There is no one. I am the only one who watches my videos. But yeah, thank you for watching me. Uh, yeah, subscribe if you can. Bye.